Hi everyone, I'm Andre and this is Straya Sports, and today we're talking football. Today's slides are about communication, types of communication on the football pitch, verbal, non-verbal, what to say, when to say it. So we've got a few slides to go through. I apologise if I talk fast. I'll go through them quickly. I'm trying to get this video down to be as short as I can. There is a longer version, goes for about 20 minutes, where I talk a bit more in depth about communication that I will post and that you will be able to watch. So in the meantime, we'll go through these slides. If you need to pause and read it yourself, you can later on. But I do want to keep it short, so I'll move on quick. We're Straya Sports, your football resource centre. We're talking football coaching, football analysis, football tools, training tips and hacks. Anything football, we're going to cover it. Tools for coaches, tools for players, and hopefully we'll have a bit of fun making these videos, and you have a bit of fun watching them as well. So the first slide we're going to move to is just the list of what we're going to go through today. So there's a few points here. Communication with the ball, without the ball, verbal, non-verbal, and a couple of examples at the end. So this slide here just talks about basically football is not just about playing with your feet. It's also using all your senses, using your eyes, your ears, use your heart, and one of the things you should be using is your communication skills and your talking. That's what all these slides today are about. I'm a big believer in talking. As a football coach, it's one of the most important things I try and get my players to do, even before they do anything else. If you've got the ability to kick a ball around, then you've got the ability to open your mouth and talk. You're never too young, you're never too old. A lot of coaches say, oh, they're too young, they can learn later, or I just want the ball to do the work. I'll be honest, I think it's a bit of a cop-out. I don't agree with that. I think it doesn't matter how young you are, as soon as you're on that football pitch or as soon as you're on that training ground, then you should learn how to talk, you should learn how to communicate. Because sometimes later on, if you wait for it to come later, it doesn't come. It's not that easy all of a sudden just to learn how to talk in front of strangers, talk in front of people. You might go to rep trials and all of a sudden you have to talk in front of scouts or talk in front of people who are trying to select you for representative teams. And if you don't have that experience and you don't have that ability to do so, then it's not going to come. So I think from a young age, 5 years old, 6 years old, 7, doesn't matter. As soon as you're on that football pitch, you should learn how to talk. Plus, it's part of the game. So I don't see why you should just teach kids half the stuff. You might as well teach them everything. So, when you start to watch the Premier League now, the Bundesliga, the La Liga, doesn't matter what team you follow, because of coronavirus, they're doing a lot of their filming now without crowd noise. So if I were you, whether you're a coach or a player, watch it without crowd noise, because I think it's a very good way to see how much talking goes on that pitch and the sort of terminology that they use. I've coached kids from all ages. I've coached kids, 15 years old who've been playing for years and still don't know how to talk, which is a shame. I don't see how that can happen. I don't know why that happens. If you've been playing for years, you should know the terminology. You should know what to do on that pitch when it comes to talking. So we're going to move straight through to what I think are some barriers to communication. Player confidence, not even knowing what to say. One player did say to me once, I don't even know what to say. Fear of failure, maybe they say the wrong thing. And there's other factors as well. This is not the be-all and end-all. I'm sure you can add to this list. Happy to hear your comments if you think there's more that can be on this list. So types of talk on the pitch: time, man on, space, square ball, line, the list goes on. And once again, I'm sure there's a few other things you can add. So these are the types of talks you can do with the ball. There's with and without the ball. So time, basically meaning, you've got a bit of space, you've got a bit of time, no rush. You can make a decision on what you're going to do with the ball next, maybe turn and head up the pitch. Man on, basically meaning there's a defender on you, you don't have much time, so you have to make a decision quickly and get rid of that ball. Square, 1-2, which is a very common thing that people do. Basically, you pass the ball, they pass it back. Move on to without the ball, so communication without. Right down the bottom here, you got I've got ball and take ball, which basically just means, if there's an opposition player with the ball and you're defending, you say I've got ball, meaning you're going to take that player with the ball and hopefully make a tackle or win possession back for your team. Or you might say to someone, take ball, meaning you go and try and take that ball off them, and you might pick up someone else or defend on someone else. Verbal communication, so there's verbal and non-verbal, two types of communication on the pitch. Verbal is basically anything you say. Every time you open your mouth, every time you talk is a type of verbal communication. You might yell out time, turn, space, that sort of stuff. And there's also non-verbal. Non-verbal is just as important as verbal. You might just use some hand gestures. You might use your left or right hand just to point into a bit of space to where you want that ball played, where you want that pass to be made. You might have your hands out both in front of you to indicate that you want the ball played straight to you. Or you might use your body shape to turn left and right to show or indicate which way you're going to run or where you want that ball played. You might have used your eyes if you're close enough and you've got a good understanding of your teammates. Sometimes you use non-verbal because you might not want the opposition to know what you're doing, or sometimes a simple hand gesture or some sort of body language is enough for your teammate to know what you want. So we've gone through already pretty much to the end of the slides. I know it was very quick, I apologize, but there is a longer version of this video. You can pause and read if you like, or you can hit me up on, email me, message me, and I can expand on this and talk more about it with you if you need. So this top screen on the left here is 1-2. Basically, here's an example of passing the ball to your teammate. You're yelling out 1-2, which means you receive the ball back. It's a good way to beat a defender. You might not always use it to beat a defender. It might just be you want the ball back, and they might just play it back to you. This one here on the right is line ball. It's a good way to get up the pitch. There's usually a lot of space on the right or left third sides of the pitch there, and usually in behind defenders. So it's a good way to get up the pitch and maybe create a goal scoring opportunity if you're maybe putting in a cross or something like that. Bottom left here is man on, so you play the ball to your teammate, then a defender might come in onto your teammate who's got the ball. You might yell man on, telling your teammate that there's someone on you, which means for them they're going to make a decision quickly on what they do with their ball. A man on can also turn into a 1-2, meaning pass the ball back to me. Or they might yell out time, so they might play the ball to you. They yell out time, meaning you've got a bit of space in behind you, and you might turn, you might take a shot on goal, you might play another pass. The choice is yours. But time might also turn into man on. So although you might have time, the defender might see that and then push up onto you, and then all of a sudden you might hear a call of man on, meaning there's now a defender on you. So the types of communication you use always changes, and it is very important to use on the pitch. I really think it's something that should be taught from such a young age, and like I said, there's verbal, there's non-verbal, there's a million ways to communicate on the pitch. I just think if you're doing it somehow, whatever works for you is better than nothing, and it's very important to find your style and your way of communicating. Anyway, that's the end of our slides. Once again, I'm Andre, I'm with Straya Sports. You can get us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We're going to be posting a lot of these videos, a lot of training tips, a lot of hacks for coaches, for players. We're going to have a lot of fun with these videos, get them out to you as much as we can. Hopefully you have a lot of fun looking through them. We do have a website, which is strayasports.com.au, but that is mainly for booking coaching, which we also offer as a service. So once again, thank you for listening to my video. Look forward to speaking to you soon, and bye for now.